Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Dave's PodShow today. I am joined by Twitch content creator CAF. CAF, welcome to the show. I hope you're doing well today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, buddy. Not bad at all. Not bad. How's things with yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, man. Doing really well. A bit cold today, but apart from that, I'm doing really
Yeah,
well.
it's absolutely Baltic up here.
So tell me, where did your username come from?
To be honest, there's no real rhyme or reason where it actually came from. It started off years ago when the internet and all that type of stuff started becoming a thing, and when you were in school and you were using MSN Messenger. Um,
Yeah.
I just couldn't be bothered coming up with like a fancy username or anything like that, so I ended up just firing a pile of letters together, and it seemed to work. And I've just
Okay.
kind of used it ever since then, just for stuff, just for sheer easiness of logging into stuff. But and then when I started streaming, I couldn't get creative enough to come up with anything, so I just stuck with it. Um,
Okay.
so
Nice.
so I'm quite happy. It seems simple enough to do.
Okay. We were thinking about how do you brand around that name?
I'm not too sure as of yet. Like this is obviously the issue that I'm kind of um, posing myself at the moment of like where do I go with this? Like I think obviously it's not the easiest name to brand, so I've kind of got a few ideas in the work in regards to logos and stuff like that that might be far easier to brand around it opposed to actually being an image thing, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
um, I've got a good buddy that's in the fire service with me that does graphic design. I'm going to
Okay.
try and sort of pester him into helping me and point me in the right direction with that type of stuff. So marketing and stuff's never really been my strong point, but I do know a good group of people that would be able to point me in the right direction with these sorts of things. So that's kind of where
Okay.
I'm at the moment with it.
And you're Scottish as well, and at the minute your brand is quite around being Scottish. Is that the correct sort of way you're looking at it a minute? Because you got a Scottish flag, and
Yeah, man.
is that right?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. Just a typical Scot, usually proud of where they come from. Um, the first ones to slate Scotland off right enough, but no, it's yeah. I mean, I originally started off where I seen like when I was first starting out streaming and stuff like that. I was like, right, what do I go for a logo, that type of thing, and I just seen something on Google. It was like a skull that had like it was like a black skull with like blue draining down on it, and I was like, oh, that's quite cool. I might wonder if I could do something like that with a Scotland flag incorporated in on it, and it's kind of just I kind of just went on from there with it. Um, I do have ideas and like really childish sketches of what I would really like as a logo in regards to
Yeah,
that. So it's getting somebody with the technical know-how that's got.
yeah. I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
It's I mean, I have near enough watched every single Photoshop YouTube video that there's going, but it's when you actually go onto Photoshop and try and do it, it's it gets yeah.
Harder.
I'm not the most patient of individuals when things aren't working, so it's like
Yeah, I know the feeling. I know that feeling. So, why did you start the stream?
uh, well, it kind of all started off at the start of this year. Obviously, when everything started kicking off in the UK, like I've got two jobs, both ended up falling into the key worker bracket. So, like, I was out working all the time, and um, it was just a case of you're out all the time at work, and then you're coming home. Um, you start getting a bit bored, and then your mental health kind of deteriorates because you don't have anything to look forward to other than
Yeah,
stuff like that, and you're like, I kind of need something to do. And then it was one of my good mates that also streams, Guess.
yeah,
He kind of started pointing me in the right direction of streaming. So I originally started it as just like a wee hobby. Like I quite got into the whole setting everything up in XSplit and quite enjoyed that side of things. And I got somebody on that website Fiverr just to make me up like a basic like stream overlay pack, and
yeah,
just sort of put it all together from that. And it just I kind of got into that side of things, and then it started off just your 1 2 viewers, whatever it was, and it was quite good fun when people were jumping on the chat, and I started to enjoy it that way. And then before I knew it, the channel started growing a wee bit, and then it started like, well, this is coming quite a good hobby, and you
Yeah.
start then getting the momentum to and motivation to try and push it a wee bit more and see how far you can really take it. So it was kind of more started just to sort of give me something to do and try and keep my head from kind of losing it in lockdown, more or less. So
Yeah. So do you think like becoming a streamer has really had a positive effect on your mental health?
yeah, definitely. I it's given me something to do. I mean, like here in the UK now, we're what approaching. Well, we're in our second lockdown. We're near a year, and we're not
Yeah.
any better off. So, to be honest, I don't really know if I hadn't got into streaming, like, where would I be type thing,
Oh yeah.
It's,
Agree with you.
because it was an easy thing, you come home from work, you've had a bad day at work. I live by myself and stuff like that. Well, I've got a flatmate and that,
Yeah.
but like, I'm by myself more or less, and you start finding like, it's a good way, you come online, you're not with your mates, but you're hanging out with your buddies and playing a few games and having a laugh and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of went on from there for me, really.
That's, yeah. I think for me, like myself, like I live by myself as well. You know, in a little flat. So obviously, the first lockdown, I was furloughed, and that's very hard period of time. You think about like everything, you think about money, and that social interaction, what you miss as well.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard when you live alone because people don't really know what it's like sometimes. It's you live in a little flat or a little house, and it's tough because you can't actually leave your house unless you go to Co-op or go to Tesco's or Asda. But
Yeah, that's it,
it's
man. Like, it was the same for me. Like, when I'm 30 now, so 31 this year. So it's like going through all my 20s, most weekends and stuff like that, you would have stuff planned with your mates, whether
yeah,
you were going away for a weekend to Wales to watch the boxing or, stuff like that. You always had continuously plans with your mates and stuff to do, and
yeah,
you were seeing each other all the time. But then the older that you are all getting, all your mates start getting married, and then they start having families, and then you're seeing less and less of them, and then all of a sudden, you find yourself like, oh crap, I'm the one person that's not there yet, and then
yeah,
you find from going from years of having loads of stuff planned to then finding crap, I've actually got nothing to do this weekend and
yeah,
stuff like that. So it was like it starts to have a negative effect on you that way, when you
yeah,
stuff like that when things, you're doing things 5, 6 times a year, big things 5, 6 times a year, and then going from that to maybe once or twice a year and seeing each other and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
um, s- getting
Like
into streaming certainly helped me do that. I've certainly enjoyed that. 'Cause, I'm still at the learning stage. Like I'm still trying to learn how to clip some of your good moments and get them
yeah,
get the then using the social media aspect of things and stuff like that. That's one thing I'm trying to learn. I've started doing using TikTok and Twitter for some of my clips, but it's getting it right and then basically taking people over from these sides of things and then trying to pull them into your channel that way. So that's kind of where I am and kind of what I want to try and work on a wee bit better.
nice. Yeah, like going back to it, like for me, I go to football every single weekend. But for the past since March, I haven't been to a single game. And I know off air we spoke about like you spoke to Tommy about my talk show I do on football. I was like, part of that was because I wanted to have a place where people come and talk about football because us I say men, ladies as well. We go to football games, and we that's where one of our main social things are: is go to football, watch football together. Have a beer, have a cider or a burger or a sausage. And
Yeah,
that is something that I've missed so much. Like not going to that football game, even when you lose, you know that winning feeling, like missing that. That's a big miss for me. Even though I do my talk show on a Saturday and have people in my ear and interview people. One thing I miss is that social interaction where last minute winner and you're running around like a headless chicken behind the goal. That's what I miss the most.
yeah.
But
I totally get what you're saying, man. Like, I mean, I've got a season ticket for Rangers myself, so I missed going down to the football every weekend and that. Even though Ibrox is a 2.5 hour journey for us from where I stay, but if there's a few who's going down in the car, you get the crack. You maybe have a few beers going
yeah,
down there. Unfortunately, in Scotland, we're not allowed to drink in the grounds, but uh,
you're not.
no, 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 we're not allowed to drink in the grounds in Scotland. So you normally have your carry out before you go to the game and stuff like that. But you miss like the small things like that, and you realise how much you take stuff like that for granted when it all gets taken away from you and
Yeah,
stuff. So
100%. I'm hoping, like, we're hoping soon all this, COVID-19 will get, vaccinated away and normal lives will happen soon. Probably next season now. We're probably looking at next season.
yeah.
I can't see it happening
Well,
anytime soon.
I
Hopefully
hope
by
it's this season because I think we're on course for winning our first league in 10 years. So I'll be a bit gutted if I'm celebrating that from the living room. But
yeah. Yeah. So moving on. Do you remember the first like game console you ever had?
yes,
What was
Sega
it?
Mega Drive. Yeah, I remember it quite well. Because I remember me and my wee brother were actually pestering my mum for ages for getting a gaming console and stuff like that. And my dad was like, nah, they're not getting one. And then so my mum started going to bingo every week. So when
Okay.
she started going to bingo, she started taking the money that she was winning from bingo to save up to get us a Sega Mega Drive.
Okay. Nice.
And I actually remember when we first got it, I think it was either Euro 96 or the World Cup 98, one of the two. And we were sitting watching that on the tiny wee black and white telly in the living room, not the living, in the kitchen. Because obviously, big fancy tellies weren't on every room in the house. So it was
Yeah.
like an old black and white telly. It was just kicking about in the kitchen back then. And I remember sitting in there watching that, and then Mum came in from bingo with this big box of like a Sega Mega Drive. So when that came in, that was it. It was straight upstairs to the rooms to get it set up. Me and my wee brother sitting taking turns playing Sonic and stuff like that.
Nice.
And then
Good.
after that, like we sort of then went on to getting PlayStations. So and then it was PlayStations up till Xbox 360s. I think when I made the change over to Xbox from PlayStation.
Okay. Nice. So now you're obviously a PC guy. Is I'm right saying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
still?
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I can't do it. I can't like literally like even though I've got a PC I can play games on now. I've got two controllers, one for my PC, one for a PC, or for my Xbox. I can't do the old W and whatever it is. I just can't do it. I've tried it. I can't do it. I just can't like get the hang of it. So what is your advice to someone that should get used to playing like keyboard?
Stick with it. That is honestly like the best advice I can give you is stick with it. Like probably try and learn it on maybe a slower game first. And like I mean, when I first went and made the transition from Xbox One to PC, I was not. I just like was refusing outright to even learn the keyboard. I was like, forget it. I'm not doing it. So I think I played like 4 or 5 months on controller on my PC, and then it was like one afternoon I went. I seen this keyboard that I really really liked, and I thought, well, I'm
Yeah.
not paying £150 for a keyboard just to sit and type into Google and stuff like that. So I thought, right, at that point, so like my 20 quid keyboard I had is like, right, I'm going to learn keyboard and mouse with this keyboard. And then once I'm happy that I can use it confidently, um, I'm going to buy myself my £150 keyboard. So that's what I did. I started off, I just went into multiplayer on Modern Warfare, and just sat and took a pasting for half a day until I started picking up the hang of it. I mean, the mouse aspect of things is like actually a lot easier than I thought. It was just the keyboard, things like that, getting used to it and
Yeah.
stuff. But that's basically it. It's just stick with it and just get yourself into like a lobby and Warzone and stuff like that, and just expect to take a paste in for half a day. But once it starts to drop and stuff like that, you can definitely see the advantages with keyboard and mouse.
Cool. Nice.
That's what my advice would be is just get in and bear it, because if you do get in and bear it,
Okay.
it will pay off eventually.
Okay. Nice. So what games are you currently playing right now?
At the moment, so I've finally bitten the bullet and got into Star Citizen. It was a game that I read about 6 years ago and thought, that is definitely right up my street. And then I just never bothered getting it after I went on to PC and stuff like that. And when I fight, and then I think what's finally pushed me was how bad Warzone has gotten at the moment. Like that had been my sort of main game lately.
Yeah.
Because it's what most of my mates play and stuff. So, and then just how bad that's gotten since the Cold War guns have come in. So,
Yeah.
it kind of forced me to like, nah, I'm not playing this. So I just, it was like last weekend. I was just looking about trying to find a new game that I could play, and it just dropped into my head. So they had a Christmas sort of sale on with your commitment pack or whatever they like to call it, and I just went for it, and yeah, I honestly, I joined it. Didn't really expect to get anywhere with it, but the people that were dropping into my stream from the Star Citizen community were unbelievable. Like I've never ever met like a friendly group of people like that. They were helping me out so much, teaching me how to do everything they're doing. But they weren't just doing it on my stream. Like a few guys actually like dropped into my game and actually took me about and showed me how to do everything. And
That's good.
one guy actually dropped into my stream and gave me like 3.5 million in-game currency to buy a bigger ship and stuff like that. And I was like,
Really?
That's incredible," because that would have taken me weeks to kind of grind that money
Yeah.
up, and thought, nah, it's just I've never the community that is around Star Citizen's so friendly and so helpful. The guys I've met on there have been absolutely unbelievable. And I've been playing with them ever since, so it's been pretty good. So yeah, I've been playing that kind of mainly. I've got Cyberpunk 2077. I've kind of been going on and off on that the now. That's a really good game. Just a shame that it's not getting good press at the moment. But it's a good game. But just kind of jumping between. I played Firefighter Simulator there last weekend.
Yeah.
And again, that was another really good community. I had people dropping in. It was actually quite good because obviously I'm a firefighter myself.
Yeah.
But like I actually had other firefighters from around the world actually dropping in the stream, and I were actually sitting there talking, and um, there was hose getting run out all over the place in the chat, so to speak. But no, it was really good. Um, and then I played Phasmophobia with another couple of Scottish guys last night in
Nice.
VR, which I wouldn't recommend to anybody if you're of a nervous disposition.
Okay. Where do you see this going for you? Do you see could it be something you could do full time or?
Um, I'm trying to keep myself sort of grounded in that respect. Like, I would absolutely love nothing more than to have this as like a full time thing. I think every streamer kind of would love the idea of that. I
Yeah.
think now though, like I think there's so many things that you need to get right for it to actually happen.
Yeah.
Um, you know, s- y- if you get everything right and it happens, then yeah, I'm going to be delighted. That's where I would like to be. It's getting all the other minor details, so I'm not pushing myself at that. At the
Yeah.
moment, it's kind of like giving myself small targets and see if I can reach them, and sort of finding something that's going to make me something, bring people to my channel. That's kind of the plan with it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I'm going to try and get into playing sort of more RPGs in the future because that is kind of my favorite type of games. I love playing my role playing games. Like Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. That's kind of what gave me the big gaming bug back in the day. When I got that, that's like the thing. So I'm waiting for the remaster to come to PC, and then I'm going to be all over that.
Nice. Cool.
Um,
So, uh, so I like to ask some random questions during the show. So, um, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food, spag bol probably.
Okay. Favorite drink?
Uh, Iron brew.
Of course it is. Of course it's Iron Brew. Of course it is. And what food do you hate the most?
Mushrooms.
Okay.
Cannot stand mushrooms. If I get like something to eat and there is mushrooms on that plate, I won't eat the food. I absolutely cannot stand mushrooms. I mean, for starters, it grows in shit. So no, it's not. Nah, I have just got the biggest thing with mushrooms. I can't stand them. Don't like the look of them.
Cool.
Just don't like the feel of them. Just mushrooms. Forget it.
Okay, perfect. What's your favourite film?
Favorite film? Damn, that's a good question. Uh, it's a throw up between Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall
Okay.
or Bruce Willis's Fifth Element.
Okay.
It's
Perfect.
a throw up
Okay.
between the two of them.
Is there anything you want to ask me?
What got you into streaming, Dave?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a long story, really. So about nearly 3 years ago now, that I got approached to be part of an esports team, and my job was to go and find content creators on like Mixer and Twitch at the time. I had no idea what I was doing, so I thought, let's try this out for myself. And here we are, nearly 3 years later. So, but yeah, it just happened really. It wasn't planned to be like, oh yeah, let's do this, and I liked it and I enjoyed it. I met people, I like gaming, I like meeting people, and it has really a positive effect on me as well. Like I'm doing lots more things that I wouldn't do now that I wouldn't do a few years ago. So it like doing this talk show would happen 3 years ago. So you know, it's extremely it's something that it can affect people in multiple ways. But for me, it's always been positive. I know you have bad days where people might come into streams and say some negative stuff and stuff like that. But overall, my experience has been good. I met some cool people. Got a growing. My community is very small, but it's growing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, you're right.
it's enjoyable.
Like, see if somebody said to me maybe a year and a half ago, "Oh, you're going to be sitting on your webcam, like sitting playing games and streaming and stuff like that," I'd have been like,
No, not for
"I,
me.
what you on about, you dafty?" And then, but here we are, a year and a half later, and it's something I love, and it's given me more confidence to do things like this, and I really enjoy it, especially when you get an active chat and people are just,
Yeah,
I don't mind people jumping in and trying to take the piss out of you and stuff like that. I think that's a bit of fun. It's all good crack.
yeah,
As long as nobody's nasty and like goes to you quite personally and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's I don't mind people jumping in and taking the piss out of you and stuff like that. It's all good fun.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else you want to ask me?
Where do you so like what would you say your grand plan for your channel is? Where would you like to put it? Like say let's say a year from now.
Year from now, of course. I want to grow. I would love to do this full time. I work 40 hours a week. And you go to work something. And think, oh, fucking, I'm doing the same job week in, week out. I don't want to be that guy where you work 40 hours a week and come home and do this 2 hours, 3 hours a night. I want to do this full time. And I tested myself like a few months ago. March will be time I go full time. We're nowhere near that yet. Got to be honest. We're nowhere near going full time. So hopefully in a year's time we'll progress more. I'd love to do this full time. Grow this PodShow, not talk show, PodShow now.
Podcast.
PodShow, and grow this PodShow. Grow Twitch. You got to dream big. In this job and career.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
Definitely.
and one clip could change your life. One stream could change your life. You never know what's going to happen with streaming.
Yeah, I love
So
that saying, like, one clip, one stream can change your life. Yeah, no, totally. Like that's kind of why I thought about TikTok. Like that, my goal a few months ago was to reach affiliate. I reached affiliate,
yeah,
and then I started realizing the followers dropping in after that, and I thought, right, okay, it's January the now. I would ideally like to hit 100 followers by end of January. That's my
yeah,
first short term goal. And then like that's kind of the way I want to take it, is I want to just set short term goals and then just like
yeah.
start biting away at them, and then hopefully after you start reaching X amount of short term goals, you can go, right, bugger it, let's get a big goal in here. Let's see what we can do and let's see how far we can take this.
100%. Great. That's good attitude. For me, you got to take that. As I said earlier, some streams be quiet, and that's okay because if one stream might be very quiet, but next week could be busy. Like you got to take each
Yeah,
stream by stream because, at the end of the day, I'm having a great time. I'm gaming. And the fact people come to watch me game, a mediocre COD streamer sometimes come watch me stream. Like, hey, that's good, So I think as long as you're enjoying it, keep doing it. Keep having fun and
yeah.
take
I
it
mean,
up.
that's the thing is like I've noticed that like recently, like I mean, don't get me wrong, I like watching the bigger streamers myself, and but like it's very easy to go and drop in these guys' stream because bang, it's right there as soon as you log into Twitch. But
Yeah,
it's quite amazing sometimes. Like if you sit and scroll down and go into the sort of other Twitch streamers, like the smaller guys, it's amazing the wee communities you find like way down
yeah,
in Twitch, and like you know you know, and I think more first and foremost, yeah, you can sit and watch great gameplay all every day out with the pros, but you know, there's nothing more enjoyable than sitting watching a small Twitch streamer that's having a good time with his mates and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you know, you're getting a laugh watching these guys and stuff like that. And I think that's the better side of like streaming.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah.
How would what? Oh, wait, two questions. Sorry. Why should people come to watch you stream, and why?
I think people should come to watch my stream because, you know, if you want a laugh and you're wanting to get involved in a community that is growing, where everybody just enjoys having a bit of fun and stuff like that. That's definitely the kind of community I want. I want people to come in, have a laugh, enjoy themselves. You're not by any means going to get like Warzone games where you're watching some Nick Mercs or something like that, but you're going to get a laugh in the process of doing it. You know, um, that's kind of where I want to go with. Is I want everyone to come into my channel, have a bit of fun, let's have a laugh. You know, even when I'm doing adventure games and stuff like that, you know, come on in, join
Yeah.
in, be active in the chat. I've got a suggestions board on my channel. You know, if people want me to stream something, play something, I'll do it. It's not a problem. So very flexible that way, and I will always talk to people who ever drop into my stream. I'll never ignore
Perfect.
anybody. So that's just it. I'm trying to be as welcome as I can.
Perfect. That's great. And guys, this is the end of the pod show today. Big thanks to CAF for coming in talking to us today. Make sure if you like this content, make sure you firstly check CAF out on Twitch TV. Make sure you check me out on Twitch TV as well, Dave Ramsey TV. And make sure if you like this video, like it, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your mum, tell your dad, whoever, tell your friends. Thanks guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, CAF.
Thanks very much, guys. Cheers, Dave.